we're here. And the one thing I did have, I was telling you about earlier, it's not ready, but we can still
Okay.
talk about all the other stuff and things that's going
Yes.
on. The real thing for me right now that I'm obsessed with is I've been rewriting my bucket list.
Rewriting it now. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't find the original one.
Oh, okay.
Like
You don't have
I
like a
had,
notes app it was on or something, or?
no, it was in like a journal that got
Oh.
destroyed. And and so I actually found a picture of it, right? I found a picture of it in my like Google Photos or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's how I've been recreating it with just like kind of going through it like, oh, okay, this was one on there. And it's fun too because a lot of it I have checked off and didn't even like not this wasn't me trying. I
Yeah.
just
I
wish
think
I
I
could.
just have one saved on Google Keep from way back in the day.
There's like ones I've checked off: half marathon, marathon, hunting, learn another language, own a dog, give to a charity, smoke a Cuban cigar, perform on stage, read the unabridged version
What
of
did you
Count
perform on stage?
when I was young.
Really? What
Yeah, yeah.
what did you
But
do?
I mean, I've done it all the way through. Um, poetry. I had a hip hop band. Uh,
A band. So like
yeah, yeah,
music
yeah,
instruments.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Both. We had spoken word when I was a young man. When I was a young man.
I'm just picturing you with dreads now.
No, no, no. I was definitely out there trying to catch the ladies though. And but I mean, I was into it. I mean, it wasn't fake. Uh, go rock climbing. And then I have one on here. This is one that hasn't been done. I'm trying to do it. It's act like a kid for the rest of your life. I'm
You
trying.
gotta do a few things ahead of time to sort that out.
Yeah, I'm trying. I got a bunch of stuff though.
I forgot how many things I have on this list. Fuck.
It says finding gold, Twitch, one person.
Well, there you go.
Bet you, is it Sean?
Maybe. I did put it on the story, so let's see. Else.
Wild.
This is fun, honestly. I like this. It's just interesting. The conversations are starting because the podcasts have been a lot of fun for me anyway.
Yeah, me too, man. I have a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I should say people who come talk to me about the things that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting, Yeah, like you said, that's the one that's kind of been floating around. Here's an idea for you that I want to throw at you and see what you think about because it's been permeating through my brain, and
Okay.
I think most people, when it comes to hard work, or we'll say like getting really good at a skill set, it looks the same to the average person when you're like 1 through 7. Like it's all the same, right? And then when it's 8 through 10, only people who can tell the difference there are the people who are in like 7, 8, 9, and 10.
That have been there too. Yeah.
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 Otherwise, I think, let's say if it's 1 to 10 is the number we're using, then I'm going to say basically 1 to 9, nobody notices. Notices, and 10 people notice. But if you're in it, you can see 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think if you're that high, because the reason why I'm saying this is I was thinking about it like when it comes to like subject matter expertise, right? Or it comes to real experience, there's this thing where you start to know like how much you know and how much you don't know,
Yeah.
right? Kind of like Dunning-Kruger,
Yeah.
right? But there's also this like level where you start to be able to recognize like, oh, that dude knows a fuck ton. But beforehand, if you're looking at those guys, that's just a group of dudes over there who know stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't differentiate like what level they're on. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I was also thinking about it in terms of jujitsu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see a black belt roll with another black belt, a lot of times to the normal layman, it's just like, what are they doing?
You know what? I think the words I would use is similar to how I said that quote I made up. I think a lot of people, they look at them, you can't tell how much they know, and they
Mm,
like, "They just know more than you." But when you're
mhm,
kind of working your way up, you realize some people just know, some people actually understand the topic,
mhm.
and I think
Yeah.
that's the difference, right? Because like, when
Yeah,
you
I think it's
understand the topic. Yeah.
yeah, I definitely think that's heading in the right direction. I haven't captured it yet because there's something where it's like to the average person, 8 through 10 just looks the same,
Mhm.
right? So if we talk about like, I mean, I'm gonna use sports for an example, which is bad because I don't watch sports anymore. But when
Yeah.
I use all old examples, but no, like if you think about like all the high level basketball players, like yes, that people are arguing who the goat is and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you tell me what the difference is. I don't think you can. Right? I think it's hard to tell the difference unless you're in it, like, unless
Mhm.
you are, a high level basketball player or a high level whatever or a high level, that's a thing. And I think about it because the other reason why I was thinking about it is because success leaves footprints, right? That whole cliche. But
Mhm.
I think those footprints are real fucking hard to decipher unless you're up there.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? Like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it's just, it's something I've been kind of toying with. Um,
Well,
as I,
I think, you don't have to be an expert to know, like, if you played basketball as a kid and you played basketball with friends and then you used to watch the whole time, you know the game. You can see when somebody has talent. It's not just hard work, it's like, this is just talent, you know they're that much better. You don't have to be the best in that realm to know that. You might have your own expertise in something else. I think when you have, I don't know if it's an expertise in something else, because ultimately that person that plays basketball, he becomes he's kind of like an expert in himself to a degree in that realm.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Self-awareness, I guess I'm the word I'm gravitating towards right now. If you have a
Yeah.
self-awareness to a higher level, you can see that kind of awareness and that kind of, like, if you're good in physics, but then you can see somebody in another realm and you can appreciate that because you can just tell that they have that je ne sais quoi, I guess the
Yeah,
the
yeah.
French would say,
But I
yeah.
think that's the point is like you
Yeah.
like 8, 9s, and 10s can see other 8, 9s, and 10s no matter
Yeah.
what the field is. Like it's like again like another sports one. It's like when you see like Brady and LeBron and all these guys get together, like there's a certain reverence that people have for the fact that like yo, you're good at your craft. You know what I mean? But I think when you're just looking from the outside in, you might know that that's greatness. You might know that that's success. But you can't tell why. You know what I mean? Like we'll sit up here and say it's this or it's that, it's that. But like the real deal is like, unless you're one of those in that kind of thing or you've seen it before,
Mhm.
it's really hard to tell or define, man. And so, maybe it's like was it Justice Scalia? Is define porn? In the porn case, and, so, like, the Supreme Court case, and they go, "How do you define porn?" He goes, "I don't know how to define it, but I know it when I see it."
That's good. That's good.
You know what I mean? Maybe it's like that. It's like,
Yeah.
I can't define this thing, but I know it when I see it, man. Like,
Yeah.
this is the
That's
deal,
funny.
like, you know? 'Cause
I
and
was
I
thinking
was
about what you said last week, though, about the understanding and overstanding, because you're trying to
yeah,
figure out, basically, I think in certain topics, I think it's related to this, because you and me might not be understand a certain niche or realm in the world. We just might not. We might be aware of it, but we'll never be able to go beyond being aware of it because we'll never be in it, right?
yeah,
So I think certain things, and we were talking about this, I think it was after I made the air comment or something like that to you, right?
mm,
And I was thinking, I'm like, think it's a blessing that you don't understand. I really do. The reason why is because, like, if I have a clean glass of water and I put some drops, like food coloring in there, it's not clear anymore, right? You have this experience that is great because you don't have the other one.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you have insight in that way. You and me might have parallel thoughts, but we got there two different ways completely, right?
yeah.
So
Well,
I think it's
yeah,
good because when you have it and then I have it, or I have it and then you have it, it shows that two different lives, two very different upbringings, have same come to the same conclusion of truth.
Yeah.
to a degree. So I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely think it's a good thing.
Yeah.
It's interesting you made me think about I was running all these meetings for a long time, right? And, I had, like, an unofficial rule that I always wanted someone who was not an expert or who was not trained in the fashion that everybody in that room was trained in to
Mhm.
come in and and be a part of it because of that. Because you don't have that thinking and that process, you're not locked into whatever rigid steps that we have, right? You're not locked into this feeling of like, I have to do this, that, or the third. And so I always felt like when you had these people, if you could put them and inject them into a meeting and they could take notes or they could tell you what they read or they could tell you what they heard, it always came with, a really different perspective. Not always,
Mhm.
but it could. And sometimes that perspective is like the thing that you needed, like so you could really unlock whatever situation it is.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
even think it's a different perspective. I think it's a different angle of attack is how I look at it.
yes, I'd say
Because
the same.
you say it, right? But
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
again, we always say the same thing in different
Yeah.
ways, but I say a different angle of attack because when I hear some of the stuff you say, I'm like, I don't have a different perspective. I'm like, I just came to it from the East, you came to it from the West, right? So, uh,
Well, just for a definitional thing, like so here's how I use that. There's perception, which is mine,
mhm,
and there's perspective, which is everyone else's. So
mhm.
I try to put myself in their perspective, or which to me translates to i.e. the angle of attack, your angle of attack.
Got it.
Because a lot of
Okay.
times too, I'm thinking of it as a map. Like I'm
Yeah.
literally thinking of it overhead as a map. His perspective is here, mine
Yeah.
is here. There's a
Yeah.
thing.
No, I actually think visually as well. So I think of it as a map too. Like that's why I say that thing is a lot of times if you notice when I say things, it would map out visually better than when I'm talking
Yeah, I get
sometimes.
it. Yeah. And
So,
so, so for me, when I'm saying that, it's like, hey man, this is the perception is mine. And so here's my perception. Here's how I view this thing. And then when I start talking, I'm like, hey, and so what I would do, like the last time I did this, well, shit. And anyways, last time I did it, I had somebody who was not trained, not a part of the thing, and
mhm,
put them in this meeting, pretty high level meeting. And, um, the insights that they had were really, for me, I thought they were terrific
mhm.
because it was like, oh, you wouldn't have thought of that, which also runs kind of parallel with this idea of like, make sure you're playing the same game,
Yeah.
you know,
Going in
like,
the same direction. Yeah.
well, I mean, even like from a negotiating standpoint, like all the stuff that's happening in the strait right now
Mhm.
in our, I think a lot of people, well, this is just warfare, I think in general, but whatever. Um, a lot of people think that everybody's playing the same game. More casualties, less casualties. And it's not the case. Right? Some people are playing a game of I don't give a shit about how many people I have to lose or whatever. And I think the great I've said this before, I think the greatest leverage on the planet is to not have or need to win or lose, you know. Especially if it's
Game
on
of
like,
attrition at that time, right? So,
well, even if it's not a game of attrition, it's a game of like, well, I guess it's still a game of attrition, but just through different means, right? It's a game of attrition through like um, one of the things that I was told in Afghanistan, and there's a lot of popular sentiments about this kind of thing, but one of the ones that I heard was, you are fighting to keep your sons and daughters from fighting. I'm fighting, hoping my sons and daughters will fight you. He actually just said sons, not
mm,
daughters. But
yeah,
yeah. He was
yeah,
like, you're fighting, so your sons won't have to fight. And I hope my sons have to fight.
yeah. That's actually very interesting. Yeah, that is like a
Yeah.
very different. That's a
That's what I
different
said. Like
perspective. Yeah.
your leverage is lost if you're not playing the same game. We're talking two different things here. And so I think I don't know. I always find that fascinating. Like when you're defining a problem, you're trying to solve something. One, we have to come to common definitions. We also have to come to like what the problem is, and then we start talking about what the problem is. And I started realizing, like, you're playing a different game than me, man, like, or I'm playing a
Yeah,
different game than you, like, it's a chance for me to win, but it's also a chance for me to just, make you lose, right? Because there's also, like, that as an alternative, like, sometimes it's not
yeah.
about me winning.
Yeah, it's like you're playing 2 different games of pool. That guy's playing snooker, and you're trying to get in the hole. So,
Yeah. Well, so
yeah.
that one lost me because I don't understand snooker, but I get it
Okay,
enough. I get it enough,
snooker
though.
okay, basically, just in
Y
case anybody else hears it, snooker is basically you're trying to make it impossible for the other guy to get a shot.
mm,
Where you're playing 8 ball or like a normal game, you're actually just trying to get stripes or solids into the holes and get off the board as fast as you can. Snooker is like you're trying to block the person. So, yeah.
I think you just added something to my bucket list.
Oh, I skipped every class in, university and played pool all the time, so, yeah, for a little while.
Yeah? I
Yeah,
s
for
here here's my skipping school story. I skipped school for, record release day for probably 2 years straight.
Ah, nice. Was
Yeah.
that in well, that was probably in you went to the army right away, right?
Yeah, yeah, this is high
Yeah.
school.
Yeah,
So,
high
like,
school, yeah.
in high school, me and my best friend and I, we would get in his car and we would drive down to the record store
Yeah.
and we'd wait for them to open and we'd go in and we'd buy a CD or 2 and we'd get back in the car and listen to it.
Yeah, in
And
the car too. Did you
yeah.
have the Discman on the dash, or do you have it in the
No,
car?
no, he had the fancy joint, man. He had the
Oh, yeah, with a
fancy
flip
joint.
up?
Yeah. He had, did he have an Acura? I'm like,
Uh,
he had an Acura. He had a nice Acura, we had 10-inch subwoofers in the back, whole 9. And
Everything
so
just
we would
rattles.
skip school, we would drive down there, buy music, and then play it and listen to it before we went back to school. Basically, skip the whole day listening to music, man,
That's dope.
and then it's like, "How'd I get here?" From
Well, you had
skipping
some life
school every
experiences then,
Tuesday to
right?
here.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
same thing. Like I went to university and I just did not like it. So I was doing good I did good in my classes except for like one. Then I'm like, this is not for me.
So
And all I
so
did was pool.
did you already know you liked learning when that was happening?
So I was always naturally good at learning. Like in high school, I would sleep in everything, and I was getting like everything that was like STEM related. I would get good grades in. Okay. And then when it's English and stuff, I would get not the best grades, but because it was hard, I enjoyed it more.
Mm,
So when I went to school in university, I did what my parents said, and you go do STEM. So I was doing biochem and physics,
mhm.
and I was in there, and I was like, I can study and do this, but I just realized I like the people, but like the lifestyle of people in that career afterwards. I'm like, I don't think I want this lifestyle. That's all it was. I like this, like
No,
everybody.
I get it.
I like nerds. I like talking to everybody. Like it's not like that. It's just I'm
I
like
get that.
I yeah. I just don't think I could be indoors. And I didn't know I had ADHD. I didn't know any of these things. I grew up on a farm. I had all the space in the world. And I think policing being outdoors was probably the only thing that would have made sense, I guess, in Canada. So, or opening another farm. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I get that. I think it's interesting that I know so many men who in their older age develop such a fondness for learning that had a great disdain for it growing up.
I never had this thing like you and me talked like
Yeah.
books. Like how many books did I read? Just 'cause I like reading books, mainly sci-fi, fantasy.
Yeah, yeah.
But um, from reading books, I would go into other things. Right? Oh, I read this sci-fi thing. Let me read something about science now. Right? So it kind of related and pushed
Well,
everything. So yeah.
I just mean, and maybe to clarify, I mean like
Mhm.
the school system or schools, not learning per se. Like I did not like school.
Yeah,
I did
I'm
not.
not a fan of school. I think as an adult, one time my mom was asking, "How do you like school?" I'm like, "Since you've asked me how I like school like every day of my life, every week, have I ever said I liked it since the first time you asked?" She said, "No." I'm like, "What do you expect?" Like the answer's not changing. I've never liked it. I did this because you told me I had to do it. But then I had enough freedom because I was good enough in school that I could chase other things that I was interested in, right?
Yeah.
And then, in grade 10, I did a weightlifting class, and I think I did the same weightlifting class 4 years in a row because I just wanted to work out. I just kept on signing up for the same one, put it at the end of my day, so yeah.
I get that. I had AP or like what was it? Advanced weightlifting.
I
And
don't remember.
yeah,
I think it was just called weightlifting when
oh,
I
we had
joined, so
weightlifting and advanced weightlifting.
okay. There you go. I probably did advance at some point because I had the same teacher. I just every single time for the last 4 semesters of school, my last course would be weightlifting. So,
Yeah. It was basically football prep. With our
uh yeah, I worked out with football players. I just like working out. I didn't do any football or anything like that. Wasn't into it. So,
Yeah, I get it. But I just think it's interesting because I was one of those guys, man. I did not like school.
mhm.
I probably would tell you I didn't like learning at that age, even though I did. And then now to be a guy who sits around here and reads stuff and peruses reporting and
I don't think I like how they tested your knowledge on it because testing was sit down, write a piece of paper. I think I would like to learn something and have a discussion about it. And that's how I'd like to master a topic.
yeah.
And that's how I got into reading more philosophy and different things like that. And just even like various religious philosophies and things like that, because I'm like,
Um,
oh, what's Christianity? Okay, what's this counterpoint over here? What's this? Right. So I gravitated more towards Hinduism because I'm Hindu as a source. And then I branched out from India, what was around there. So I was more aware of those things. Yeah, I think I just like learning, kind of like this podcast to me is a resource to learn,
yeah, that's
right?
exactly like that's even talking about like bringing guests on. Like I think about that, and I think about the guests that would be popular, and then I think about the guests that I want to talk to,
Yeah, I
and
I don't
and that.
even well, my ingestion of social media is kinda like purposely avoid the trend because, like, you
Hmm.
tell me a lot more things what's going on social media. I
Hmm.
wanna bring scientists on, I wanna bring other
Yeah,
nerds on different
yeah,
things. I wanna
yeah,
bring people that are niche good in something that is just only maybe you and me are aware of kind of thing, right?
yeah.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
I love that because well, one, I'm always just looking through the throughput and the gold, right?
Mhm.
And I also I think it's something really cool about people who are really into and passionate about their thing.
Well, I
I
also
just
think that a lot of the stuff in this realm, because how I met you through this realm was like a lot of fitness oriented stuff to come to
Mhm.
these realizations. And as much as I'm a meathead, all the other stuff that I was involved in that's definitely not meathead at all. I'm like, the same realizations happens everywhere. So you can get to the same conclusions through
Yeah,
hard work in different realms,
I think so.
right?
But here's one of the things I believe. This is one of my real core beliefs as far as fitness, and sports performance, and stuff is concerned. Is that at some point in time you realize that muscles end,
Yeah.
and that the real leverage comes from heart, brain, soul, grit. And it's one of the things that I really enjoy about talking to strength coaches versus like personal trainers. I'm not saying that personal trainers don't have this, but like they end up being little mini philosophers
Okay, you're
because
gonna before you move on, pretend I don't know the difference.
Mhm.
Strength coach and just personal trainers. So
Okay, so a
because like
strength coach, exactly what it is. You're somebody who's getting somebody strong for a sport. So think NFL, NBA, college football, college, you name it, sport.
mhm,
Right? So they have, strength coaches who take them, program their weightlifting, program their nutrition, take them from 0 to hero, make sure that they stay injury free, which is probably one of the biggest points of their job, and try and keep those guys healthy. That's strength coach, right?
okay.
Personal trainer, hey, you wanna get in shape? Cool, come here, right? and that's kind of the deal.
Well, they put you on this 12-week program and
We're
put
gonna put
everybody
you on this
on. Got
12-week
it.
program. Maybe there's a group, maybe there's not. There's group fitness for personal trainers, there's single, one-on-one, all that stuff.
Mhm,
But I think something happens when you're attached to a sport, and especially when you're attached to a sport dealing with the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, right? And so you have to, how do I get more juice out of this guy? How do I get more juice out of this girl? Like, I don't know. And so I think the answer always comes down to, like I said, heart, soul, grit, skill, technical expertise, and
mhm,
things like that. Like listening to Kobe Bryant talk about basketball is insane to me, right? Not that I'm some high level basketball dude, but like I played a lot of basketball and I watched a lot of basketball. So then when he starts talking about like how you have to take this step this way in order to get off the dribble,
mhm,
my mind was like, oh, you can think like that? I never considered that, like, you would break a move down to the minutia for a game that moves that fast, right? Or, like, when you start talking about even football, well, like, "Hey, man, we're gonna kick back, and you're gonna" all these things, and it's like, "Oh, man." So that's, again, like, that layman versus level 7 through 8 through 9 through 10 again.
mhm,
And so, I think it's just, there's something there. There's something there, and I think what ends up happening with the strength coaches, my point was just that, like, muscles run out,
mhm.
and at some point in time, you gotta find a different source to feed that thing, and for some reason, that's where you find philosophy, it's where you find wisdom, it's where you find, uh, I'll say truth, and also, um, will. Right? It's the 14 peaks thing. Like he says, you think when you're only 45%, when you think you're fucked, you're only 45% fucked.
Mhm. So, with everything you're saying, do you think there's something in there? Because, like, when I'm hearing this, I'm like, "Let me see how I can relate this to other things." And I think that's the difference between somebody you hire as, like, again, in other realms, they would all be called consultants,
Mhm.
but, like, there's, like, low level, like, that's entry level consultants that give you cookie cutter information, and there's consultants that actually prime you for that next level kinda thing, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think a personal trainer is, and I think there's probably another term for consultant that I can't think of right now, that's on the low end, but I look at it that way. But with consultants, just how you're saying with personal trainers, muscles go away when they're a consultant. They've been there, they have maybe some life experience ahead of you.
Mhm.
So, do you think there's a level of, I'm putting quotations, past your prime, where now you have the insight, you can see the mistakes you were making with other people that were younger than you or that are coming up, that are still going for that goal when you couldn't see them? I'm priming this up for the philosophy piece, right?
Yeah,
So,
so I think there is definitely a component of that, right?
mhm.
But I think also, and I wanna be careful because it's like that component is not age. That component is experience. That component is also, awareness,
Yeah, I'm saying,
right?
like, muscles go whatever age that is.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah. Because
saying, yeah,
and
experience,
when I
yeah.
say muscles go, I don't mean muscles go as in like you're aging and you're weaker. What I mean is like when you are tapped out,
Mhm.
like 11th hour, you've been running, you've been whatever, fourth quarter of a game,
Okay.
you're at your PR for bench press and powerlifting and you're clean and jerk, whatever it is, man. Like, and and you need this thing now.
Yeah, you gotta find a deeper ocean to get something out
Yeah,
of,
there's
yeah.
another you gotta find another well, you got something, and I also think that that goes not just to the actual individual play and performance, but also the preparation, the behind the scenes, the how do you stay in contact and not contact, how do you stay in process, when you're going through this stuff, and I think that is where that piece comes from, is why when I talk to a lot of strength coaches and you look at like, "Hey, man, well, what do you do for fun?" They're reading books that have nothing to do with sports, not just because some of them are just true nerds, right? But
Mhm.
then it's some of them just realize, I think you just get to that point when you go, oh man, like I'm gonna need some extra juice here, right?
Yeah. No, no, I get that now. I was understanding something different, but that makes way more sense now from what you were saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I just I don't I dig it, man, because as a guy who thinks too much in the first place,
Mhm.
it's one of those. I'm surrounded by people who are looking for metaphors and analogies through life, you know. So I don't know. That's my take.
I like it. That's a good one.
That's my. It's not a hot take. It's very lukewarm at best.
You had a lot of hot takes recently.
Um, I don't know, man. Any of the hot takes I really have, I stay away from, um, because I would wanna have them in conjunction with a real conversation with somebody up from, like, an opposing side,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I don't wanna ever have them in an echo chamber of, like,
Yeah.
you know.
That's my one, I've told Sean this many times, my one beef about when I see social media and people are just talking, like, off to the side, and you know they're reading off a whiteboard, and,
Mm,
like, it just l I lose my mind on that every time I see it, like, I can tell you're reading, and it drives me nuts. I'd rather you, like, stutter and make a mistake with your thought in the process and just say it, right? I know it's just so curated, and it just drives me nuts, but that's a personal thing.
yeah, I
Um
get that. I get both. I like some, off the top and just get it out, and I also like the curated, you know.
No, but, like, even it's curated, like, I have when people are doing speeches, right? They memorize a speech. It's a memorized speech, but they deliver it so well.
Hmm?
If you can do that when you're recording, I'm on board, is what I'm saying. But I'm saying when
Oh,
they put on the whiteboard and you can see their eyes moving to read along,
yeah.
then
Well,
I'm like, because then I'm like, in my head, I'm like, you just got that off ChatGPT. Like, I can't even, yeah,
see, I
like,
don't
it
even
just
think
how
that
my head works.
what I
Yeah.
think about I think about the mega churches.
So I
That's
had only seen some things on TV a little bit here and there. I don't know much about mega churches. So yeah.
so it's not just mega churches, it's anybody who actually has put together a coherent speech,
Mhm.
right? And what I mean is, like, you're gonna get real low, and you're gonna say something,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna point.
You're doing the Obama hand?
Yeah,
Well, is that the Bill Clinton hand or
they
Obama?
all
Where
do
did it
it. They
start?
all have some version of, like, you know, "Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to
Yeah.
introduce the fact that,
That's a great
we
voice.
are we are going to, assault the objective. The American people deserve more."
That's great. That is great.
So,
Oh,
but
wow,
yeah,
that is great.
but no, it's the thing where people, um, they play with the sound and they
Yeah.
enunciate words more.
Mhm.
You pause,
Yeah.
and then
I'm saying I'm all for it if they're not reading. That's all I'm trying to say.
you open the book and go, and so today is the day where that's what I mean. Cause, like, if you see it, once you see it, you can't
Yeah.
unsee it, and you're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you're trying to sell me. You're
Yeah.
not having a conversation with me. I don't even know if you
Mhm.
believe what you're saying anymore." But the
Yep.
problem is for a lot of people,
Mhm.
that's gold. That's up their
Yeah.
alley. They're
No.
getting they're buying what they're selling. For me, when I hear that, I'm like, "Oh, you sneaky, sneaky, sneaky person." It's like when a movie comes on and the first scene is so sad.
Mhm.
I'm like, "I know what you're doing to me, and I don't like it." It makes
Yeah.
me angry immediately.
That's
Irra
funny.
I get irrationally angry because 'cause I'm like, "I know why you're doing this, and I don't like it, and I don't wanna be a part of it."
I'm turning you off now. I'm just thinking when you're saying that, I'm like thinking about the people on social media now that just set up a camera and start crying.
Man, you know what, man? I,
You have a different take on that now?
no,
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Because you're
I think
pausing. I'm like,
it's
where are you going with this? All right.
no, like, if you cry on camera
Mhm.
because 'cause you're in the middle of a thing,
Yeah. That's whatever.
kudos to you, man, like,
Yeah.
do your thing, right? But to set up a camera and let it rip,
Yeah.
like, here's what I
Oh,
will say, though.
I'm like,
Here's what I
that
will
girl
say.
will
Have you
cry
ever
on cue with
noticed
everybody.
have you ever noticed, or seen little kids when they cry, if they get in front of a mirror? They're
Not in front
fascinated
of a
by it.
mirror.
Yeah, they're fascinated by it.
Fascinated by it, really?
Yeah, in my opinion. Every time I've seen it happen, like, they watch themselves crying.
Is it different for boys and girls?
I never paid attention. I
I'd be
don't think
curious
so.
about that
I don't
because
think so.
as guys cry less when they're older, so I'm just be curious about that, right? So
Yeah, but I mean, listen, man, like, don't get me started on the fake things that we've been sold about boys and girls.
no, I'm not
I know,
saying
I
that
know,
guys can't cry. I'm not saying
no,
that
no,
at
no, I know
all. I'm
you,
just
but I'm
okay,
just saying, like,
okay,
it's one of
alright.
those ones where when you think about how little boys grow up
Mhm,
and you realize that, like, oh, you weren't built like this, or you were built into this actually,
mhm.
because it's not like, like, "Well, men are tough." And it's like, yeah, because you told him motherfucker to be. Like, you told him that wasn't natural.
No.
It wasn't natural. Like, they're actually real sensitive. They're actually
Yeah.
real sensitive. Like, which means, i.e., you, tough guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people who say that shit. It drives
Well,
me
but I think
bananas, man.
yeah, I agree 100%, but I also think, like, a generation ago, the dynamic of adult men were very different in the world
Oh,
than today.
oh,
So I think yeah, so I think we can't backwards impose modern world values and how things are transitory
no,
transitioning now.
no. But even now, like, I don't know. I've yapped about that enough. I've told you, like, my thing with men and being a man and being a man who coaches and being a man who has sons and even friends is like, if you are going to be powerful, if you are going to be that thing and like that, whatever that is, then certain things shouldn't bother you. Certain things should not be issues. And so whenever that happens, I'm like, oh, I can't believe you now. I can't
Sorry,
believe
wait,
you
when you
now.
what happens? Like they cry or
No,
what
no,
do you
no,
mean?
no, no.
Sorry.
Like, so, like,
Okay.
so, and you probably haven't seen it because of the way your social media feed set up, but like, um, there are certain, and I can't think of any good ones right now at the moment, but like, there are certain, like, men shouldn't be doing this kind of rule.
Oh, no, Sean sends
Right.
them to me because I'm like,
Yeah.
"What the fuck is this?" And then I go on a rant, and then he just laughs at me. So,
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, because I feel the same way about
yeah,
90% of them. But I also
yeah.
just in general hate rules.
Yeah, we know that. We know that. At this point, everybody knows that. So, but again, like you said before, like my thing about masculine and feminine, I think most of the argument is about people. Okay, let's say I'm going to just say there is masculine and feminine, sure. But what people argue about online is just basic survival skills, which everybody should have, and that's what annoys me.
I agree. I agree for the
Right?
most part of it. I think the other parts of it have been whittled down to men versus women, and they try to shove it into a masculine versus feminine basket.
Yeah,
But really
100%.
what it is like, you just don't like something, or you can't get out of your own way because of not even singular is probably the wrong word, because some people do it over and over again, but because of the incidents that have happened in your life. So now you attribute it to a whole population, right? So guy gets heartbroken by girl. Guy now says all girls are heartbreakers. And it's like, bro, like, you don't even know what
Yeah,
you want for dinner tonight. So
yeah,
you're gonna tell me about what you want for the rest of your life in a partner or a relationship or a lover.
100%.
Side note, time out. I said partner. I hate that.
I never say that, so
I'm not a I'm not
I
a
stay
20
quiet
this
when
is
people say that.
this is where I'm not a 2026 guy.
Yeah, well, you know what? And I've done this in person to people. When sees a partner, I'm like, "Oh, you're gay." I've flat out said that because
I
I
don't
did
even think
not
about it
even
yet.
realize,
Yeah.
because my friends
No, I
before it
understand.
became mainstream, my friends that were same sex relationships, they would say partner. I'm like, "Cool,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That's what you
Yeah,
say."
same.
Right?
Same.
So,
I had to learn it because of when I was in the military and we
yeah,
had
we have to learn that too. I
yeah,
just keep on
so I had
forgetting
to
because
switch
my
up.
friends
My
are
thing
yeah.
was more of the fact that I don't want, because when I hear partner, I
Oh, I know
think
where you're
one
going.
one of two things. I think you're my business partner, or
Mhm.
you're a fucking detective.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I actually said this a girl said this to me that, "Oh, this is my partner." I'm like, "Oh, what business are you in together?" "Oh, no, that's my boyfriend." I'm like, "Oh." I actually said this to somebody in person and exactly what you said, and partner at work would be the exact same thing. Yeah, it would be work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably where I'm the least progressive.
I don't even think it's progressive. Like, my thing I'm more confused about, a dude dating girl, girlfriend, boyfriend, okay. Girl dating girl, girlfriend, girlfriend, boy dating boy, boyfriend, boyfriend.
Mhm.
I is partner less than that? Is partner more than that? What I'm confused now.
No,
Like,
it's
we already have a word.
what I my personal thing and what I've seen in the conversations I've had is that that is a thing that people feel like is immature. Like
Partner?
over no, boyfriend, girlfriend.
See, when I first my friend in university, she came up to me as gay, and at that point, to me, partner meant
Yeah,
basically
yeah, a lot
on
of
the
people.
level of, like, "This is my girl,
Yeah,
this is my wife,"
a lot of
right?
people, I think, feel and have that same sentiment, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not a part of the community, so I
No.
don't know, but that's what I think a lot of people have the same sentiment, but my point is that, like, there are also people who are
Mhm,
specifically straight people or whatever,
mhm.
who are saying that, like, um, uh, saying boyfriend or girlfriend is immature. It's for younger people.
I think that comes from people that wanna be gender neutral.
I mean, it's both. I've literally I've had this conversation. I'm not saying it's gonna
Really?
be wide, but yeah, I've had it multiple times where it's like, "Oh, well, that's like juvenile. It's like for like kids. They're like girlfriend, boyfriend." You know? It's like, "This is my partner who I wanna share everything with." And I'm like, "Partners don't share everything." That's my thing. And I also think people have, and this is my wild, fucking Barry Bonds out of the park number here, is I also think people have a hard time saying certain things. Like I think like I say lover sometimes and I see people and I do it on purpose because I want to see what people's faces do. And
Uh,
they get kind of weirded out by it. Like this is my lover. And I'll be like, what I'm saying?
I
Or
would
my
just laugh.
or my lover, what I'm saying? And like you can see people like don't know how to handle it. And so I just find it
Uh
to be I find it to be interesting. Find like
Well, I'm sure you
yeah.
can tell how I talk to my humor. You posted that one thing with us with that music, and I messaged you right away saying that kind of looks kind of romantic.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But you just said like that's my humor. Like I'm like you can say whatever; it doesn't make a
Yeah.
difference to me. So
I mean,
yeah,
listen, man, I spent 20 years in the military, man. Like, yeah, there is no level of humor I probably have not heard that is disparaging, gross, all of the things, right?
yeah. So
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how we got on, partner. Oh, I said it. That's why I had to call time out on myself. Yeah, I had to call time out on myself.
time out yourself. Well, you
Yeah,
know what
man.
I have something I wrote a long time ago actually to bring up on the podcast, and I forgot it, and I found it on one of my to do lists. So this is from some let me see what I wrote here actually. Uh, okay, so the quote is, "The limits of my language mean the limits of my world."
Hmm.
It's a famous quote, philosophical statement from Ludwig Wittgenstein,
Yeah,
1922 book.
he's a mathematician.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
So I
it's one
saved
of my
this to bring
favorites.
it up because we started the finding gold thing when you made that Instagram thing,
Hmm.
right? I think you called it finding gold, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, um, I thought this was really good because so I had this discussion with my psych one time saying that if I can't speak better, I can't communicate with you better because I feel like a mute child talking to you right now
Hmm.
when I first started. So like, I
Yeah.
need to better understand this world so we can have better discussions. So I got her to give me like just books to read on psychology and
Yeah.
whatnot. So
I think your ability to articulate yourself and influence is a barometer on how you can navigate the world, right? And so what I mean is like, here we'll go through it with emotions, right? You talk to a lot of men, they only have 4 or 5 emotions, right? Happy, angry, sad, horny, jealous, right? That if you ask them, that's what they'll tell you,
Yeah, they'll
right?
probably say 3 usually, and
Yeah,
2
yeah,
of them
you
are
usually say
anger.
3, yeah. But okay, so that's what you got. So then someone dies close to you. What do you got? You'll be like, "Well, I have this feeling." Okay, well, what's the feeling? Well, it's not sadness, but it's like this thing, and it's like, okay, so what is it? Oh, so you can't articulate your feeling. When you can't articulate your feeling, you typically have this other feeling of,
Frustration.
yep, of frustration. You don't know how to attack or resolve a problem. You don't know how to even think of it, right? And so then you go, oh, I sat with my anger long enough till I called it grief,
Yep,
right? And then all of a sudden now I have a word for it. And now I have a word for it. And I go, well, okay, so what do I do with grief? And it's like, well, now you know that this is what this means. This means this is the absence of the person you love, right? This is they're still here, or you want them to still be here,
yep.
right?
It's definitely the absence. My opinion on that is
Yeah,
absence
yeah.
for sure.
But so I say
Uh,
that if you can, so that's just emotion, right? So
mhm.
now if we're talking about it in terms of like, I want to do better in, right? We won't even get to words first. Like I have to be able
Mm,
to see this.
mhm.
And then once I
Visualize
see
it,
it,
yeah.
yeah, or and we can go back to this one too, right? Like, right, it's the pickup artist stuff,
Yep.
right? Or when I wanted to talk to a lady, I I just said, "Oh man, I gotta go impress this girl," right? But I don't have the words, and I don't know how to articulate this, and I don't know how to use influence.
Mhm.
So now I go find this book, and it goes, "Oh man, you have to make her feel comfortable by X, Y, and Z." Oh, okay, now I have language to put to
Yeah.
this, so now my
You got
world
a
just
map.
yeah, and so that
Yeah.
I told you, I think I told you this one before, like, I had this idea, I call it thought mapping, and it was based on that quote because I was hanging out with a bunch of businessmen, and when they were talking, I was like, "I don't have that road." I remember b I remember I remember, in my head, I'm like, "Hmm, that's not on my map," you
That's
know?
funny.
And one of the
If
dudes was super wealthy, and he started
yeah.
talking about stuff, and I was like, "That one's not on my map either." And then I noticed as we were talking, like, we were all exchanging these ideas, and, so I don't know, I'm sure you know what an overlay is. So these overlays on this
Yeah.
map, and so we're
Yeah.
overlaying this stuff on the map, and I'm like, now I have new roads, I have new, highways, byways,
Yeah. You weren't even
unimproved
aware
roads.
they were there before. Now
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
aware,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
now I'm aware that they're there, Um, and I think that that's such a big deal, not just in language, but if you zoom out a bit more and go concept, right? There's this, and I don't have a concept name for it, which I should probably name it. Maybe we'll name it. So I was at dinner with a bunch of guys. We'll call them high end humans,
Okay.
right? Um, and we order food, and the food comes out, and they all just everything that came out wrong without hesitation, they sent it back,
Mhm.
right? And for me,
Mhm.
that was kind of strange because it wasn't that they sent it back. It was a lack of hesitation. It was just like, boom, this is wrong. Boom, this is wrong. And I was like, just maybe it was okay. Like you and
If you're in was it like a fancy restaurant too?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes
And
sense.
so my buddy
You're
looks at
paying
me
for
and he goes,
perfection.
well, he looks at me and he goes, I've known you well enough to know that if I came to your house and you served me food and it was wrong, you'd apologize profusely and then try and fix it. He said, you would never allow that to happen. He said, if I was running my business, I would never allow people to have that happen to them. So why would I ever allow it to happen to me? and I was like, "Oh, man." It's like immediate, like, like, the gears locked in place, and I was like, "Oh, no, like, I've been doing it wrong," you know? It's like you don't take that short because you're trying to, uh I don't wanna inconvenience you. I wouldn't do that to you.
No, you know what? I like that because that's like, you have standards for the world too, right? You have
Yeah.
standards for yourself, you have standards for your surroundings, and then I think that can go into like a start from a self community society thing where how there's a lot of things, a lot of lack of standards and things now because
Was
just let it happen.
there's
Trophy
also
medals,
just the idea too that, like, um, I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to get the good here, good things are supposed to happen to me.
well, you know what? If you're willing to for a business, you expect certain things to happen in the business, mapped it all out and it doesn't happen, you'd be like, "What's wrong here?" So
Yeah,
this is a business transaction technically because I'm coming here and I'm paying for a
for
service,
sure. I'm just
right?
saying, like, I think from a grander perspective,
Mhm.
like, there's a lot of people who are like, "Oh, man, I don't belong here. I don't feel like I should have this. I don't," and for me, it's like it becomes more and more like, "I'm supposed to be here. This is
I
supposed to
understand
happen."
now.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like, good like, when I show up to a restaurant, I should be treated well, right?
Mhm.
And I think that that's even God, I hate the word mindset right now. It's a mindset that you should have, right? Attitude that you should have, but it's hard to find people with that attitude and standard, right?
Yeah.
Um,
That's why I initially asked it was at a high-end restaurant because there's a time and place for it as well, right? If I'm in a mom and pop shop that don't speak English or whatever, that might be a little different, right? Time and place, right? And
yeah,
I agree with that. They put so much effort into the venue, and then they bring out something that is not up to par with the venue itself. That's the same standard that you hold at your house,
yeah.
right? I
That's what I
agree with
said,
that.
like, it's one of those things, and I think that once you hear it and you see it as a concept, right? Limits to my language, limits my world, limits to my concept, limits to my world,
Mhm,
um, it changes how you kinda interact or has the potential to change how you interact with things.
mhm. When I read this quote, I actually went back to my childhood. We had family friends. One of the kids, he had a mental disability, and he was always participating with everything. But because he had the mental disability, you could see his frustration with not being able to convey any emotion because like he wants to convey. He's like he wants to communicate with you. He wants to talk with you. He wants to participate, but he just can't grasp concepts and he can't be part of it, and it upsets him so much. And that's what I was thinking about when I saw that as well,
Yeah,
because that's like a very visual, like as a person in grade school seeing it, you're like I didn't have words for it then, but when I
yeah.
read this, I'm like, this is that. And
Well, yeah.
I honestly, when I read that, when I thought I had the thought, I had this big fear of having brain damage. I'm
Oof,
like, "Oh,
yeah, yeah,
man." Like, I really just went back, I'm like, I did not realize, like, how he felt
mhm,
until now.
yeah,
I'm like, "Oh, shit." It took me I'm 43. It took me, like, 33 years to figure this out.
yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh, he had that much of his life where, like, people just, like, it was wild, that moment."
yeah. I mean, it's I mean, I've seen it with my kids, man, as they're learning to talk,
Mhm.
right? You can see them get frustrated because they don't have the thing, they don't have the word, right?
Yeah.
And so I get it from that perspective. I also, man, I'd say this, on the, like, losing your or brain damage thing, man, like, that's one of my greatest fears is that I'll lose my memories because it's the most cherished thing I ever have.
Mhm.
And so as a guy who's taken a lot of blows to the head and stuff like that, it's one of the things I think about, man.
Yeah.
Or like when I get in one of those the roles where like I can't recall words, and as a guy who kind of prides himself on being able to talk,
Mhm.
it scares the shit out of me. I'm like,
Yeah,
uh-oh. I'm
that's a
like,
big
uh-oh, is
fear.
that it? I'm like, is that the CTE happening? Like, is it happening?
When you were in the worst of your PTSD, was it bad for you connecting words then too, or did you have your words the whole time? Because for a while, I lost my ability to like have good conversations.
No, I definitely still had the ability to have conversations. I lacked the ability to regulate.
Okay, so I
I would go from
couldn't
0 to high
uh
violence in no
I had a
time.
little bit of that, but I had, like, if I'm talking to you, I couldn't recall the last paragraph of the conversation. I had to what were we talking about? Like, I would come it would be like I would come out of being high, just sober. Then I'm
Yeah.
like, "What was I
Mine
talking
was,
about?" So,
I had a problem with recall of words that I knew,
yeah,
but the other one was, like, I just couldn't handle, certain types of, I'll call it a reluctance, but that's not the right word. I talked with this about Michael Easter about this, people's inability to see that the gift that they've been given, like
I think I know what you mean, but I
so
want you
like
to give me an
so
example
like when
now
I was
because
coming back, I was deploying back and forth to Iraq and Afghanistan, and and you come home and this thing happens, man, where you you bump into people who just life sucks, and you're like, and
oh,
all you can see for some reason because of I guess the experiences you just had
the
is
contrast, yeah.
is their upside.
Yeah.
All I can see is their upside. All I can see is like, oh man, you're influential, you can articulate yourself, you have this up, you have that up. And then you hear them talking and they're just the opposite. And it would make me so angry. I would get
Mm,
irrationally angry at people. Right. And then it would get to the point where like sometimes I'm having conversations with people and they're talking to me and I'm like, it's a normal conversation, bro. And
mhm.
I am at 12. And I'm like, "No, you don't understand." And so, like
'Cause I
and so
only know you
now
as this now, right? So,
so that's
I
why it's so funny because
yeah.
I have a couple friends who like, "Oh, man, you're on that Zen stuff." And I'm like, "There's a literal monster." Like there's a caged animal in here.
Mhm.
And not like it's not in control or anything else, but it's like and I think a lot of people know and feel that whether you have PTSD or not, but you have that feeling of like, "Oh, man, I could just let this beast out." So
Yeah.
so I've always loved and respected the idea of being in control, right? I think there's nothing like all the characters in movies I always like thought were dope. Even as a kid, they were always like the ninjas and samurais who just exhibited so much discipline. So like when that happened, it's not anything that I thought was cool. Whereas
Yeah,
like some of
you
these guys,
probably it probably was one of those things that, okay, I like being controlled, then it happened, you're out of control, and, like, now I'm angry about not being in control, I'm getting more
yeah,
out of
for sure,
control,
for
right?
sure.
Because I get that because like, now that you said that, I'm like, okay, I was getting very frustrated and angry, and that's why I was smoking a lot of weed, and like, a lot of weed, and then I just realized I I didn't even like being in positions that would get me a little bit angry because I'm like, I don't wanna lose control at all.
Well,
Because like
so yeah, which is kind of what led me to some of
yeah,
the realizations I had and letting certain things go and talking and dealing with people
mhm.
and also like
I do gotta say one thing, my bicep is so small right now, look at this thing, so tiny. It's bothering me because 'cause I'm seeing on camera the whole time. I'm like, "I gotta
yeah,
hide this." So
I
tiny.
get it.
Okay.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like curating my life the way that I have was a specific need,
Mhm.
right? It was a need because one, when you put the mirror up and you see something you don't like, you have two choices, in my opinion. You break the mirror or you learn how to live with it, or you curate what you see, right? You change because you can only change your visuals so much. So this is a metaphor, bad metaphor, but whatever. Um,
Was there, like, a point, like, an epiphany that you had to curate your own life, or was it you started curating your life and you're like, "Wait a second, this is what I'm doing?"
both.
Okay.
I was doing it, but I wasn't realizing I was doing it. And then, and I don't know if we talked about this on here, but so I'll repeat it, is I'm a huge movie fan. And so when a movie starts, the the sound, the color, the lighting, um, the soundtrack all tells you what the mood of the thing is. And so I'm listening, I'm actually watching Reservoir Dogs, and it's that first opening scene, and, he's panning down from the left, and then it's kinda like a drab, dreary color. The music is not it's kinda ominous, but it's not, like, overtly ominous. And I was
Mhm,
watching it, and I go, "Holy shit." He sets the tone.
mhm.
And I was like, "Why am I not doing this in my own life?" Literally, this is what I'm thinking. I'm like, this has nothing to do with the movie. I'm like, "Why am I not doing this in my own life?
Yeah.
Why am I not curating my thing to the utmost effect?" Right? Like, why don't I control the lighting in my house? Why don't I control the music in my house when I need to control it? Why don't I, you know, um, you curate your outfits, right? You curate, like, everything is curated. And that's why I use that word specifically, because people will tell you like, "Oh man, like social media is this thing where it's curated and people only show you their highlight reels." Well, first of all, yes.
Yes. Like, we've talked about this. I
Yeah,
agree with
yeah,
that totally.
yeah. But second of all, my
And I don't
entire
think it's a bad thing, to be clear. I don't think it's a bad
no,
thing.
but just to be real, my entire thing is curated. And if it's not, it shows, right? The people I allow in my life, right? The words that come out of my mouth, what I wear, how I interact, how I conduct myself. Like, one of the best sentences I ever heard when it came to conducting myself, it was, "This is the image of a man you want to portray today."
That's good. I like it. Very
Right?
simple.
And so, like, I would like before I would have like a thing, I'd be like, "This is who you want to show the world, who you are. This is the
I
person."
like that actually better. I
Oh,
like that
yeah,
actually better.
this is how you want to show the world who you are right
Yeah.
now. This is this behavior right here. And so, um, but and so for me, it's a really big deal. But what I come to realize in talking with some of these people, especially a couple of my buddies who think it's like, "Oh man, like you're all zen, bro," and I'm like, "You're from a world where losing control is cool because it's tough. It's tough guy stuff to you, right?
Yeah.
I'm from a world where, yeah, I grew up doing martial arts as a kid, man. I consider myself a martial artist for years. I probably still do in some ways, you know? So I think the difference between sports and martial arts is sports tells you what you can do, where your limits are. Martial arts tells you what not to do. And I think that's a big distinction that people miss. So
I think our martial arts shows you what you can do and where not to use it when
yeah, I
kind of
mean,
thing.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, they'll show you what you
Yeah.
can do, but
Yeah, because it does too, yeah.
I think the bigger
Yeah.
lesson that martial arts
Oh,
teach
totally.
you to be a martial artist is like what you can and what you shouldn't, and how you don't apply this in this situation,
Mhm.
right? It's more about restraint and discipline than it is the fact that like I'm the fastest, strongest, bestest, whatever.
Yeah.
It's the opposite, So as a kid who did both growing up, it was like, oh. But anyways, like, so yeah, for me, that was kind of the deal. Is like as I'm realizing I want to live a certain life without certain things, and I don't want to
Mhm.
feel, which is one of my big deals, is like I don't want to be regretful. I already have enough. I have enough of those,
Yeah.
man. And so I don't think you get to live a life without regret, but I think you can regret way less, and I think you can be very intentional and choosy in the regrets that you have, and they don't have to be regrets that are like, "I'm sorry I yelled at you."
No, they can be regrets that you, like, plan out kinda thing, like, "I have to choose this choice over
Yeah, well,
something
for
else,"
sure.
right? So
I think that you have to
yeah.
have those regrets, those I have to make a choice regrets. But what
Yeah.
my thing is like, once the toothpaste is out, it never goes back in.
Yeah.
Right?
But I think all of it's a choice, right? It's just
That's what
like
I mean. That's what I mean.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
okay, 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 okay.
it's like
We're on the
it,
same
and
page.
so like, but what happens is a lot of people act like it's not.
That's true,
You
100%.
know,
They're
people.
they but they be I don't think that it's not that they act they're just so reactionary,
Yeah, well,
right?
that's what I mean. It's like they're
Yeah.
reactionary to the point where like, "Oh, well, this just happened." No, it did just happened.
Just
And don't get
happened.
me wrong, like, I've been in that position where I felt and talked and act like that. I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, I just did this." And it was like, "No, you just didn't do it. That was a choice. It might have been a choice in a split second,
Mhm.
you know, but it was still a choice." And so I think, once you kind of see it and you realize like I would like to have the opposite. It
Yeah.
becomes it's a hard road. It's a hard road to go.
Yeah.
At first, you know.
I think, the curating the life thing, I think I always done to a degree, but more so maybe when I first moved no. Yeah, every time I bought a house or and moved anywhere, like, you saw it when on the when you were doing the calls before, how my background would keep on changing, keep on
Mhm.
curating my surroundings to be someplace I like, and I just tell my friends, I'm like, "Well, we buy this house, we sleep here, we watch TV here, we hang out here, and then I don't understand why people keep on complaining around their surroundings." I'm like, "Why don't you make your surroundings dope? Like, you're there all the time. Why don't
Well,
you put some money into it, right? Instead of just putting money out into a bar."
well,
And
even then, like, even the money part, right? Like, this is
yeah,
like the necessity is the mother of all invention, like, right? Like, if you don't have a lot of money, you get real creative, and sometimes it turns out 90% of the time turns out better, I think,
turns way better, I think,
you
because
know?
if you have money, nothing is custom. Well, unless you have a lot of money, then you can really make it custom. But if you're like in that middle realm of where the money you have is IKEA, nothing
Mhm.
you have is custom unless you put some of your flavor into it. So
Yeah,
I,
you
I
just choose the
personally
easy
like,
button.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing. Like, I have enough money to pay people to paint and stuff, but then if I paint it, I have to make a decision right now. If I have the painter and I have to do the whole house at once, I'm like, then it's like and then I wanna change something. So, it goes a little slower, but I like, curating my surroundings a lot.
Yeah, same. I
Yeah.
mean, like, one of the things that I immediately do is buy, now that they're a thing, is, Wi-Fi lights.
Yep.
So I
My
can
whole
change
house
the
is them too,
colors.
yeah.
So I can change the colors, man, like,
What's your brand?
I don't know what that
I use Govee. I just find them the easiest.
I've used that. Now it's I wanna say Panasonic, but that's not what it is. It's the P brand, whatever that is, starts with a P.
Philips.
Yeah,
Philips.
Philips, there it goes, yeah.
Okay.
Um, also, I am at the age now where brand names don't matter to me.
Yeah, they don't. I just use Govee because it works. I don't have to put yeah, that's why I do it, so wait,
No, it's just
you were a
funny
name
because I
brand guy?
remember
You were a
being
name brand
young
guy
and
ever?
huh?
Were you a name brand guy ever? I never was a name brand guy, that's why.
In the sense of, like, I recognize them, right? Like,
Okay.
I remember talking to my dad, and he would be like, "I don't know, it's just this thing," and I'm like, "Why does he never know the brand names?" And now here I am, and I'm like, "I don't know the brand."
The only brand names I know is how it fits me. I'm like, "Oh, that brand fits me well, that's why I go there." Not
I
because the name itself.
I still know brand names, but, like, they just become less important to me, especially for food. Like, I definitely know brand names of food. You know, I'm all over that. Bra
Well, I think that becomes more important because it's health, right? So,
Yeah, well, it's also my taste buds, like,
yeah.
both.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. But yeah, man, I just, the curation thing, the PTSD and how you handle it, and everybody, looks at it differently. What I will say that I thought was really interesting is I had a friend that graduated from one of the TBI PTSD clinic intensive treatment plans. And
Mhm.
so we got together and kind of went over it. And 90% of the things that did and started doing on my own is exactly the course curriculum. So I
Really?
was like, yeah, I was really happy with myself. I was like one of those like,
That's good.
because I was like, oh, we figured this out. But it's one of these things too, man. Where like,
Well, you know what? I think one thing about you too is that agency, as we talked about before, when you're through it, you're like, I'm out of control. I have no agency right now. Like my emotions are, or other things are in control. So getting that back is probably a good fire, the thing that stokes the fire in the right direction for you to
yeah,
figure
for
it
sure.
yourself. Because I have a few friends that are in it right now, and I look at them and I'm like, I don't know if they want to get better.
Think I think familiarity is sometimes better than getting well for some people, and
100%.
also getting well is not. Almost never comfortable, right?
Definitely not comfortable.
You know, I've come to start calling it growing pains
Yeah.
because I can also tell now when it's happening, and not necessarily for PTSD, but just in general in life. When I start having growing pains,
Hmm.
I start. I know I'm uncomfortable, I'm irritable. I can't articulate or influence the thing that I'm trying to get to. I'm trying to get to this point and I'm like, "Ooh, what is this?" And I know that it's
Yeah.
there and I'm just like, "Oh." And then like sometimes you get to it and you're like, "I can't tell this to normal people."
Well, I think you know what? One of the reasons I appreciate the podcast now, because like when I first started doing it last year with Sean, it was kind of going to end up being just me and bringing guests on at times because I was just enjoying the conversation. I'm liking this consistency because I think when it was wintertime, I brought something up about, and you brought up growing pains. So I brought something up like, I'm like, I feel like something is shifting right now. And you called it growing pains right then. But because there's consistent conversations, I think there is more growth in the conversations on topics as well. Because
Mm,
sometimes we bring up like 3 episodes ago, we're like, you know what, I was thinking about that, and now it's still on my head. It's obviously something I got to work through. So
yeah,
you know what I mean. So
yeah,
the growing pains one, I think that's a great term. And if you haven't written Substack posts or a blog post, what are you calling them?
that's good.
Articles, essays? What are you calling them?
Yeah, articles. That's actually
Articles.
really good.
I think you should write one on that.
It's real because at this point now is it's like diagnosable. Like I know when I'm going into it. You know, almost like little kids, like when they're teething or something.
Hmm.
Like you know, like y'all, this some bitch crying all the time. Like, like you're like, oh man, like oh, he must be
Yeah,
getting new teeth. And so
yeah,
like even my youngest boy right now, he's just growing like a weed, dude. Like he put on like 3 inches in like 2 months. And and I look over sometimes and he's like, oh, my knees hurt. And all he does is sleep and eat. And I'm like, oh, buddy, it's growing
yeah,
pains. Like just
yeah.
um but yeah, I I think the other part of it, at least for me, the part of it that's the most I don't have the term for yet, but is frustrating is it's very hard to talk to people who don't understand about it. And
100%.
I'm surrounded by it.
I didn't realize how much I wasn't talking about it until I started chatting with you more this year.
Mhm.
Because even though we haven't really dived into it, I would now let it slip more. Where
Mhm.
before I won't even let it slip, right? And just be like, oh, I got to think about this later on. What I got in the habit of doing when I talk to people, I'm like, I need to sit with that topic. Next time we talk, I'll talk about it with you. That's what I usually
Yeah.
say.
Yeah. Well,
So,
so the only reason why I'm as comfortable as I am with most of them, not
mhm.
all of them, I won't talk about them, but like, is they're in my journal. I've already worked it out, or I
Yeah.
started working out. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like,
no,
I
100%.
I
Not the
went
things that
through
we
the
worked out. I'm not talking about the things we worked out, but like,
no, no, no. I'm
yeah.
saying even even the preliminaries, right? So like here, I'll do this.
Okay.
So I'm working on the BATNA and life average, right? And
Yes. Yes. Okay.
so I'm not talking about it in public, not because I'm worried about it, but just because I still need to square it in my head.
Yes. No,
So
I get that
once
part now.
yeah, so
Yeah.
once I square something in my head, even if it's not perfect, I'm willing
Mhm.
to talk about it out loud.
Yes.
That's what I mean, and so, like, it's if it's in my journal, I've probably gotten to a point where I squared it, and I'm like, "Okay,
Okay.
I at least know I'm not full of shit." At the bare minimum. At the bare minimum at the bare minimum, me to me, like, somebody
Yeah.
can probably shoot holes in it still,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But me to me, I've at least worked out, like, are we good?
Yeah.
You know what I
And
mean?
now, and this evolves into the next thing you say about yourself, where it's like, um, I like being proven wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, now if you squared it for yourself, say, now prove me wrong.
Yep.
And then I get it then, because then you can actually have some solid ground to stand on with your argument before you talk to somebody else before they prove you wrong. Because
Yeah,
you need to
so
have, yeah, I get this now. Yeah.
yeah, so because what it's the definition thing I told you about, like, I don't
Hmm.
think it's a real definition unless it can survive friction,
100%.
right? And so, like, if I square it in my head, that's cool, but that's not real. I'll
I
lie to
agree.
myself, right? Right? We will be
Yep.
like, "Yo, like, this is the greatest idea
No,
ever."
that's sorry, that's the word you said. I wanna make a liar of myself.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
you wanted to say.
yep.
Sorry, I got it wrong.
My goal is in 10 years from now that I feel like some of the things I said were dumb and just
Yeah.
not good and, like, cringy and whatever. And also like the things I'm like, oh, I don't like that. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. You're lying to yourself.
Yeah.
And it's also this idea too. I want to be so rooted in who I am and like that, like when something comes up that's like passe or you're not supposed to do that, then I'm just like, I don't care. Right. Because I remember having a feeling, when I was younger of like, you're not supposed to like this or you're not supposed
That's
to.
one thing where I'm gonna defer with you. I've never been that person, so
So like
yeah,
I've
yeah.
very rarely been that person,
Uh,
but I still know what it's like. Right.
so it's like, wait, okay, if you were to look back,
Mhm.
are you saying that you truly were like, "I'm not supposed to like this," or but you try to avoid, that's the wrong word. You try to prevent yourself from liking something? Is that what you're
Here,
trying to
so
say?
here we'll do it. We'll do it. You'll do it easy with music, right?
Okay.
So I grew up as a black kid who likes punk, rock, all this other stuff. Not cool. Equivocally not
Mm,
cool,
got
right?
it.
So when I first got into it, it was a thing that I would be like,
Yeah,
we don't talk about this.
but you still did it, though.
I still did it, yeah, 100%.
Okay, I
Yeah.
thought you were saying what I thought you were saying is that I force myself not to like something
No,
fitting,
I've never been like that.
I
I've never
can't
been like
picture you like that. I just
no,
can't. So,
I've never
okay.
been like that. I
Yeah,
have been
I
the
can relate to
kid.
this other and I can relate to this
Yeah,
one. Yeah.
I've been more
Okay.
like the kid who was like, "I like this, and I'll like this in
Yeah.
private," and then I slowly just go,
Yeah.
"You know what? I don't care." Well, whoops.
Whoops.
Whoops, I guess I like this. Like,
There you go.
deal
You
with it.
came out with emo makeup on. You're like, it's
Yeah,
too late
yeah,
now.
yeah. Like, yeah, man, and then but the older I get now and then because I had, really, really fantastic message from one of my favorite humans, tell me that I was basically living like that. It kinda pushed me to keep going further and not be.
So guarded?
Yeah, like, so guarded, so rooted in, like, what if, like and there's still, like, a level of it that I kinda have to do right now
Yeah.
until I'm out of the federal government, but,
Yeah.
you know, um, yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to just be as me as I can be, and if that
Yeah.
offends you or if it, inspires or whatever, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
No, I get it now. That makes a lot more sense because
Yeah.
when you first said it, I'm like, I just can't picture you not like preventing yourself from like I can see you hiding it. I can see that. I can see anybody doing that, but preventing yourself, like I know people that would actually just say, "No, I don't like it." I'm like,
No. No, I
Can you
definitely.
just tell me you're not interested? You- Not liking something, like why do you have emotional reaction to something? If you're not into it, you're not into it.
Yeah, I
But
get
like,
that.
why have an emotional reaction to? Oh, I don't like this. I have
Well, some people build
gay
their I
people should
think
not
some
have
people
sex
build
in
their
their own
identities
house.
in
Like
there,
that's
man.
what I hear. Gay people should not have sex in their own house is what I hear
Yeah,
when I
yeah,
hear that. Right. So
yeah.
I'm like, this is stupid.
Well, I think some people build their, complete identity on being anti, and I've said this
Yeah.
a bunch, man, like, I don't give a shit how anti you are. Tell me what you're pro. It's so easy to not like stuff. It's so easy to tell me what you hate. It's so easy to say like, "Oh, I don't like this because of X, Y, or Z." And I'm like, "Bro, what do you like? What sets your soul on fire? What's the thing that's gonna make you get
Yeah.
out of bed in the morning? What's the thing that you would change for? Like, is it misery? Will you only change for misery? Right?
Yeah.
Or will you change because something so cool or the idea of what could be is around the corner? And I mean that's why I read The Alchemist every year. Is because I think most adults forget how to dream and they forget that in the course of finding your dream, one, it might change. Two, you don't know what the side quests and adventures are that usually end up meaning more.
Hmm.
And just that like that language of dreaming matters, you know? So
Technically, this podcast is a side quest for both of us.
Yeah, you know
You
what this
think
is?
about it.
Even more so for me, I'll tell you what this side of the podcast is for me. The podcast is a dream for me, right? But
Ah,
here's how I look at it though. Dream complete. Now it's what's next. It's what's, um, I think if I had to construct my penultimate day, right, it would consist of podcasting, writing, training, and some other stuff. I I I enjoy this. It's why it's one of those things where, like, for me, I'll do the shit for free forever. I will probably have some podcast in some way, shape, form, or fashion until I'm an old man.
so have you thought about if and I had this funny thought because uh when I see Matt, from Not Dead Yet, when I
Mhm.
see him post this stuff in my head, I'm like, okay, who would like I look at anybody, I look at you, look at other people. I try to put them in a different generation and how they would be.
Mhm.
He would be to me the guy in the neighborhood that would invite everybody over to show slides of his trips,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. When I see that, like he's gonna be that like in the 70s, right, or in the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So I see when you say that, I'm like, you would have been a radio host. You would have a CB radio, and you would have had something at some point always where you're either public or in your house doing it because you're gonna always have a podcast. You're gonna always have some place to broadcast from. You only have an underground radio station, an AM radio.
You know what
So
I always thought? I I used to say I wanted to be the crazy guy at the beach, just down there telling people their life, like just gems, just passing out like just like
shells,
yeah,
seashells
no,
by the
like the people
seashore.
walk by and you just drop like the biggest wisdom bar on them ever,
Yep.
and they're like that crazy guy down there at the beach, man. He's down there telling everybody like the secret to life. That's what that's just down there at the beach doing pull ups, saying just dropping bars on people.
Yeah.
That's
That
what I used to think about. I was like, when I
really,
retire,
that's fun.
yeah, I was
That's
like, when I
different.
retire, that's what I wanted to be. It's just that guy, it's just
Just
the
be
crazy guy
working
at the
out on
beach.
Muscle Beach and just having a
Just come up and say something, I just drop a bar on you, and you're like, whoa. And then, like, I don't know where he went. He just vanished.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been trying to picture people for fun over time, like what that old school stereotype you saw in movies. I'm like, who would that person be in modern times? And just try to match it to people, could be just for fun kind of thing. So
Yeah, I get it, man. That is a good one. I like that that's a fun little, exercise.
yeah,
See
it
what
just like when I saw uh Matt traveling and posting on social media for a bit, it was always his travels. I'm like, this would be that guy in the 70s. And he was rocking a mustache at the time, I think, at the time. So I'm like, that's why I thought of that. And he'd be like, people come over and he's just doing this slideshow of his trips. And
yeah.
everybody still comes over to hang out about it. And that's like your double tap like in person that back then, right?
It's
So
true. It's true, man. I saw Gary V today said something that really, really resonated with me in reference to people blaming social media on everything. And he was talking about like people and like saying like how they're like, oh man, like, everybody wants this big giant lifestyle now, and it's because of social media. And he was like, bro, we had lifestyles of the rich and famous. We had MTV Cribs. We had all these things growing up. This is not new.
mm,
And he was just talking about poor parenting. I just thought that there was something poignant there where one, and this is something we always come back to, the problems are the same problems,
same problems. Yeah.
right?
Have
They're,
you read, sorry, just before you go on, have you read the thing about how when the telegraph first came out, they had the same issues and they said the same problems will happen as Instagram, and
yeah,
same thing when it went from books to magazines.
yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen stuff like that at least.
Yeah,
Well,
there's a whole book about it. Yeah,
I think about it with Blockbuster. I always think about it with Blockbuster because I remember when Netflix and Redbox and
yeah.
all those things hit, and people were like, "Pff, this is never gonna work." And then find me a Blockbuster. There's only one left.
There's only one left still.
Yeah, yeah, in Oregon or
Mm.
Washington.
Honestly, I gotta say, I still think I watched more different movies when Blockbuster's around than now, because now you can see a preview and you say no right away,
Yo,
and then you skip.
so you you're in my alley now, dude. Like, yo, first of all, I think you watched more better B movies
Yeah,
than ever when Blockbuster existed, because you walked around, like you said, 1, the trailer can throw you off, but 2, there was just something about, like, looking at the thing and, like, "Oh, man, all the major ones are sold out tonight. They're
yeah,
already rented. I guess we're watching Velocipaster,"
yeah.
you know?
Velocipaster.
Yeah. It's a real movie, by the way.
Oh, I did not know, that's
Yeah,
hilarious.
it's a real
But,
movie,
like,
yeah,
I think, like, Sharknado and all that would be even more popular back then than now and
for
all those
sure,
shark movies, right?
for sure.
So, it's just one of those things that I think, it's the Tinder effect where kinda like everybody watches the same thing now, people on Tinder because they see because of the Kardashians, everybody get likes for this type of look.
Mm,
Everybody starts looking the same because you think everybody
mm,
wants the same look.
yeah.
So, the Tinder effect, so I think, again,
That's
I don't even know if that was somebody else made it or I just conflated the 2 and made
No,
it
but I know
myself.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I
Yeah.
think we all do,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
That's
Because everybody just started looking the same for a while.
yeah, yeah, well, you know, no matter what people say they want a partner, significant other, lover, you know, you, and because of that, I don't know. That's one
Go
I
on.
get you. I get you. I just I'm I'm really just dumbfounded how people have tricked themselves in trying to act like it's not important to want to be
I
with
don't
you,
understand that at all, so
you know? And I get that, like, not everybody's gonna find somebody, and that's not what I'm saying, I get that. But just this idea that, like,
it's a burden?
it's a
That's
burden,
what
it's
I
a
feel when I hear people talk at
yeah,
times.
it's a burden, it's a problem, I don't need no man, I don't need no woman, I don't
Yeah.
like,
Or
all
the flip side, both genders, how they talk about the person they want is kind of like it's not based on, like, their personality or thing, it's based on, like, "Well, what are you gonna do for me?" Right?
yeah, yeah,
And
for sure,
and I
it's a
find that odd because like, my psych and I think she's the one who asked me this, and my again, I may as well just call her a friend at this point because how we talk. Um, she asked me, "What's, like, your main thing that you find attractive in women?" I'm like, "It's very simple, like, quick to smile." That's the right there. Because well, from that, there's a lot of things you can just extrapolate. Just quick to smile. Like,
I like
life's
that.
too short.
That's pretty
I want
cool.
somebody that smiles. That's
That's pretty cool.
yeah, that's the very simple thing, and she was I think she was waiting for a list because she was like, when some people ask you questions or like your female friends ask you, "What do you want?" And
Mhm.
I just had that one little line. I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay, I'm good. What's the next conversation?"
yeah.
So,
I dig that, that's really cool.
yeah.
Yeah, man, I don't know, I just think people yeah, I think, 1, you're right, like, they want a bunch of, characteristics or outcomes instead of a person, and I think the other thing too is, like, people always sound like they want the person to come pre-assembled, right? Like, "You already have to have this, 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 and this. You should have already been through this much therapy. You should have already, like," you
Uh,
know, and I'm just like,
I might go to therapy, but I'm very anti-therapy culture, so
I mean, you and me both, we've talked about this. I think you have
yeah.
to
First,
therapy
if you find the right person, great.
you
Then
know,
that's
that's what I was gonna
first,
say. My first thing
right?
is, like, first, the right therapist. 2, like, are we in this to fix this, quell this, or are we just digging up dirt?
Or we yeah, exactly. I think, I said, you use the word cope a lot. I'm like, cope means that this is never gonna be resolved. If that's the thing, then I am not on board. And she's like, "What?" Like, we use cope, like she's like, "That's part of our training." Like, "Well, the definition of cope means that I'm gonna have to live with it. It's not
Yeah.
gonna be a solution." And she's like, "I never thought about that because in her training, they just used the word." So for
Yeah.
her, she had a different definition, and I think, that was a little bit of a was one of those things where I say, like, we're speaking the same words, different language. So
Yeah. I completely agree. I think for me, it's also this idea of, like, therapy is like cleaning a house. You have a big old giant house, and there are certain rooms you never go into. And sometimes when you're cleaning a giant house, you're already kicking up a lot of dust. And then you're gonna go into these rooms that you never even been into.
mhm.
And not causing you any problems, not causing you any pain.
Yeah, you
And
have
now
enough
you
square footage in the house that you can
yeah.
still live very comfortably.
I mean, now all of a sudden you're in this room poking around, asking why grandma said this to you, you know. And the other thing
I
too is
agree
like,
100%. That's a great analogy.
and the
That
other
is
thing too
so yeah.
is there a lot of people are looking for a grand gesture to feel better about a thing. They're looking for like, if I talk to grandma, is she gonna say these words and then alleviate me of the pain that she caused
Oh,
me 33 years ago?
it's kinda like
Right?
we talked about before, how, like, some people only want to win if it fits into their box on how they win.
Yeah, kinda, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I just think that, like, I've talked to enough people, coached enough people, and heard
yeah,
enough people where they're like, I just I just, uh I just hope that they apologize, right? And then so I say, "Okay, so they apologize, now what?" "Well, I hope that they know that they did wrong." "Okay, now what?"
yeah. That's your ego talking.
Right? And it's like, there's no amount of thing that will make this feel better for you. This grand gesture you're looking for is the only thing it comes from is from you and however you view said situation and how you tackle it. And also, it's not an aha moment. You're not going to just they're not going to tell you, I'm so sorry. And then you feel better about it immediately. Right. They might say, I'm sorry. And then you wake up one morning a year from now and you forgot that it was a thing. And that's why I always say there's no grand gesture. There's no like, oh, we're gonna wake up
Yeah.
and forget about it.
I think it's another way for people just to hold on to that, like, that identity they have with that
For sure.
chip on their shoulder, right? They have to apologize to me in just the right way for me to let this chip go.
Which all
Otherwise, I'm
it
gonna be here
also keeps
forever.
me busy on that stuff instead of fixing the things I actually need to address.
Yep. Sometimes, though, when you have a problem, you avoid it and fix everything around it.
I mean, that's one too. That's one
That
too.
is true. As
But
long as you're fixing stuff.
yeah, there's both versions of people, right?
Yeah,
I see the other one a lot. That's who ends
yeah.
up in my
I
lap.
see both. I
Yeah.
I I see the void, like, I gotta clean my garage. I'm cleaning the rest of the house.
Yeah. Well, don't get me
So,
wrong, like, I know some
yeah,
high-end dudes that fit into that category. They've been fixing everything to the point of multi-millions, and
yeah.
now they're like, "Now what?" And it's like, "Oh,
Still gotta deal with
buddy,
it.
it's time.
Yeah,
It's time." Well, dude, we're gonna rock this thing off because I gotta be up early to go
there you
train.
go.
I haven't picked my date yet, but I'm gonna enter my last bodybuilding show of all time,
Ooh.
the end of this year,
Ooh, there you go.
October, November timeframe. So,
Cool. I gotta be up and work on that, project I told you about before the podcast. I'm
yeah,
gonna be
yeah.
building that out some more, so.
Do you wanna end it with a quote or anything or an idea or
Let's see. Let's scroll and stop and see what pops up here on my threads where I was doing many, many quotes. Here we go. There was a path in, there is a path out. It won't be the same. You are not the same.
see if I got one. Well, I just had it too. See if I can find it in a timely manner.
It's all good. You can always cut this part out.
Yeah, I'm going to. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. Maybe I don't have one. Let me see.
I got one that I think is similar to something you have said, and probably a lot of people have said if you want.
Okay.
Stop solving for problems you don't currently have.
Yeah. Alright, I'll do 2 and I'm done.
Okay.
Actually, I'll do 3 because one of them's almost like the one my daughter gave me, and
Okay, perfect.
I can't remember hers, but it's the same version, essentially. How many truths have you lost in search of what you wish to be true?
Hmm. I like that.
Yeah. Um, if your life was a show, which character would the fans hate?
Oh, that's interesting.
That's the one for my daughter.
That's interesting. I like that one.
And then the very last one, I've said this a million times, but it's worth saying again. Choose proud over happy.
Choose proud over happy. That one I would like to have a more deep discussion about next time because I think there's a counterpoint.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
I'll,
save it for
I'll
next time.
just, I'll say this before we go. A lot of things make you happy.
Mhm.
Not everything makes you proud.
I agree.
All right. I'll see you
All
next
right.
week.
Next week, man. Well, until next week, okay?
All right, brother. Be good.